Hello and welcome to the Embrace the Mud podcast. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the power struggle phase of a relationship. If you find that recently you and your partner are in what might often feel like a tug of war with each other, where you're just butting heads and, on opposite sides of issues and really struggling with your differences, have no fear. As far as I'm concerned, this is a very natural part of the evolution of a relationship, but it can be really painful and it's easy to get stuck there. So today we're going to be talking about why this happens and what you can do to release the power struggle and find your way to a healthy balance of power in your relationship. So let's dive in. You are listening to the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, and life-giving relationships. Why focus on relationships? Because the quality of our intimate partnerships and close connections influences our health, happiness, and longevity more than anything else in our lives. Relationships matter a lot. So together, let's jump into the mud, aka our messy relationships, pull some weeds, plant some seeds, and create an enriching environment where strong relationships can take root. I am your grateful host, Dara Posner. I am a relational disaster working toward relational mastery. I am also a positive psychology coach, a relational mindset coach, a blogger, and now a podcaster. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, life-giving relationships. If you are a fan of this podcast, please subscribe, follow, like, review, and share. Your engagement in this way is crucial to the success of the podcast, and I appreciate you taking just a few seconds to support my mission, which is to help people like you flourish in life and love. Are you feeling stuck in a power struggle with your partner, constantly butting heads and unable to find common ground? Do you find yourselves locked in arguments over who's right and who's wrong, with neither of you willing to budge? Does it seem like every decision becomes a battleground, leaving you both feeling frustrated and resentful? If so, you just might be in a power struggle phase in your relationship. This is also sometimes referred to as the disillusionment phase. Lots of couples experience this phase in their relationship, but it's important to realize that it does not have to define the future of your partnership. This power struggle phase is a natural part of every relationship journey, and it typically happens right at the end of the so-called honeymoon phase of the relationship, where those rose-colored glasses come off, your differences become evident, each other's flaws and weaknesses become clear. Some couples navigate through this phase really quickly, while others may find themselves mired in this type of conflict for an extended period of time. The key to moving past this stage lies in recognizing the underlying dynamics at play and committing to a more collaborative approach to resolving differences. Individualistic thinking, where each partner prioritizes their own needs and desires over the relationship and their own desire to control the relationship, often fuels the power struggle. However, by shifting towards a more relational mindset, one that prioritizes the well-being of the partnership as a whole, couples can begin to break free from this destructive cycle. To break out of the power struggle, start by asking yourselves some key questions. What is truly best for the relationship in the long run? How can we work together to find solutions that meet both of our needs? By reframing the conversation in terms of what serves the relationship rather than individual interests, you can begin to shift the dynamic towards cooperation and compromise. It's important to remember that in any relationship, the goal is not to win at the expense of your partner. Because the reality is, when one person emerges victorious while the other feels defeated, you both lose, because the relationship, which presumably you both deeply care about, suffers. True partnership requires a balance of power where both people feel valued, respected, and heard. Healthy relationships are characterized by a sense of fairness and equality, where each partner's voice is given equal weight and decisions are made collaboratively. This doesn't mean that everything is split evenly down the middle, but rather that both partners feel empowered to contribute their perspectives and work towards common goals. One of the most important practices is active listening and empathy towards your partner's perspective, even when you disagree. You want to seek to understand their needs and concerns, making their needs and concerns just as important as your own, and being willing to compromise and even better, bargain and find middle ground and a path forward that feels mutually satisfying whenever possible. By approaching conflict with curiosity and openness rather than defensiveness, you can create a space for mutual understanding and growth. Remember that breaking out of the power struggle takes time and effort from both partners. It requires a willingness to let go of the need to be right and to prioritize the health and happiness of the relationship above all else. But with patience, with good communication, and a shared commitment to building a strong foundation together, you can overcome the power struggle and create a relationship that thrives. Do you find yourself questioning the depth of your partner's love for you, wondering if you're just asking for too much or if you've chosen the right person? I get it. I've been there too. And that's why I created the No More Unmet Needs Workbook, your budget-friendly guide to achieving consistent emotional satisfaction in your relationship. In the face of unmet needs, it's really easy to unknowingly perpetuate the cycle. But the good news is it's simpler than you think to break free and experience the fulfilling connection that you deserve. Drawing from my personal journey and from my experience as a coach, I've honed a proven strategy over the years, and now I get to share it with you. In the 4-step, 16-page workbook, you will be able to eliminate any doubt or confusion about your needs, get clear about the difference between your core needs, actionable needs, and your desires, and communicate your needs like a pro by employing a simple yet powerful template to express your needs anytime with clarity and confidence. If you are ready to bid farewell to unmet needs and the confusion surrounding them, then the No More Unmet Needs Workbook is for you. And as a podcast listener, you get to enjoy 10% off by putting in the discount code GOODLOVE, all one word, GOODLOVE. Just head over to mudcoaching.com/shop to download your copy of the No More Unmet Needs Workbook today. All right, that brings us to the end of our episode for today. I hope that you will accept today's invitation to practice a more relational mindset in your relationship where the needs and the well-being of the relationship are prioritized over individual preferences and desires. This is the way out of that power struggle phase of your relationship into a phase that feels much more like harmony and collaboration and true teamwork. If you feel like you can use some extra help in this regard or in any other situation in which you feel like you're trapped in negative patterns in your relationship, I am now offering single guidance sessions. They're 90-minute sessions where we can meet, where you can share with me what's happening in your relationship, and I will provide you with my insights and guidance for how you can get unstuck and out of those negative cycles and into more harmony and joy and collaboration in your relationship. So if you're interested in that, you can head over to mudcoaching.com and learn more details on my programs page. In the meantime, I will be back very soon with another episode for you here on the Embrace the Mud podcast. Until then, please remember, you are wired for love and connection. You are capable of love and connection. You are worthy of love and connection. I'll see you soon.